Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Student Sundays. As you can see, we're one member short. Umar has departed from the team, guys. He has departed. But alhamdulillah, he might come back here and there. We'll see, inshallah. We'll see, inshallah. So I'll try my best being a host, but we can't get the same host as Oms. But inshallah.
People asking where you been, bro. Like,
where you been?
Where you been? Like, it's been 3 months or something like that.
I said, where you been, man? You've been hiding.
No, alhamdulillah.
Now we've just been kind of busy, and it's as you know, people exam season, grinding season, so it's a bit difficult for everyone. But alhamdulillah, managed to get episode today. Today we're going to be talking about Ramadan. As you know, Ramadan is literally like 3 days away, right? 4 days away, 3 days away. Alhamdulillah, I think this will be beneficial for everyone, inshallah, including ourselves. So want to start talking about Ramadan, inshallah. First things first, I think we should start talking about how does one prepare for Ramadan? Like, say someone's watching this right now, a couple of days before Ramadan, or even during Ramadan, first few days. What mentality should we have going into Ramadan?
I think a person should reflect on himself, what he needs to improve on, what struggles he has that he needs to, get rid of from his life, and then, make some sort of rough plan in his head, like how he's going to work towards, eliminating these struggles, or if not eliminating them completely, just reducing them like significantly, in this month.
So like bad habits, right?
Yeah, bad habits. And build up good habits as well. Like reciting more Quran.
Yeah, I think one should see Ramadan as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for change. It's an opportunity to detox. It's an opportunity to change yourself for the better. And it's a blessing that you're able to reach it every single year. So you have to see it as an opportunity to change into the person that you want to be in terms of your religion. And a lot of people see it as like the starting point, as like the checkpoint to make drastic changes, because when everyone's fasting and stuff like that, obviously desires are low, and it's just the atmosphere is completely different. So it's a good ground for everyone to change and be a better person.
So as in a training ground, like make Ramadan a training ground for the person you want to become, because in Ramadan that's when you can see your potential, right? So that's why I was always thinking it. Just adding to your point.
I think Ramadan is like the month where you show how great you can be as an individual. Like of course throughout the rest of the year, you should strive to be a better person every single day, and as every day goes by, you should attempt to improve yourself. But I think Ramadan is specifically the month therein that it brings the best out of you, let's say, and you should strive to achieve that. For example,
I feel like in the rest of the year, everyone's kind of on like autopilot, like they're so caught up in like their lives, their work and their education and stuff like that. But when it's Ramadan, all of that stops, all of that goes to the back, and Ramadan and Islam comes to the forefront, your ibadah comes to the forefront. So that's why it's easy to get lost in in the dunya and stuff like that. But when Ramadan comes, that's truly the time to reflect and to improve yourself, because like I said, the environment, the atmosphere is completely different. Everyone's focusing on their ibadah, so it's a perfect time to to plant those seeds and bring about change.
So hey, just to add on to your point, in Ramadan, generally speaking, the hearts are softer, right? Because the shaitan are locked up, etc. So it's much easier to like just improve yourself, because everyone else is kind of on the same vibe as Ramadan. And I don't know why, subhanAllah, just this month here, Ramadan, it's always like there's something in the air, like everyone just so like non-hesitant to do good stuff.
The energy is different.
Yeah, the energy is different. So
I think it goes back to what you said, the shayateen, like the major
maybe that's why, because they're locked up. Sahih.
And the gates of paradise are open. During this period.
So that's why I just use this month to like subhanAllah, just go all in, man. Like try your best to just become the person you want to become. Use this month to help you train for that, inshallah.
Also, Ramadan comes every year. So I think we should all see it as a bridge onto the next year. Because I know Ibn Qayyim, he said like nobody stays the same every single day. That you either progress or you regress. So utilizing Ramadan as a stepping stone or as a bridge to the next year by improving yourself by a sufficient amount or a lot, for example, is praiseworthy, because we have to progress and not go backwards, basically.
Sahih. I might not be good at analogies, but I'll try one right now. Ohms is normally the one for that, but it's like someone that has a bar.
Yeah.
This Ramadan, say they improve, that bar goes higher.
Yeah.
And like you said, no one stays the same. They even go up and down, like Iman goes up and down and stuff like that. But if the bar's up there and your Iman goes up and down, at least it's at a high level. If your bar's low already, and you just keep going up and down, you're low anyways. So that's why you should try, like, just use it as a stepping stone, like you said, to improve your Iman and your habits and stuff like that.
And obviously, your competition is yourself that way as well. So if you yourself, like you said, have a low bar, or you have a low target or low expectation of yourself, then not a lot of progress would be made compared to having a high bar or high expectation of yourself.
Sahih. Okay, cool. Now we're talking about this mentality. Everyone's, inshallah, trying to prepare to get ready for Ramadan. What are some things that you can do? For example, like Quran, start this, start that. So what are like some things, inshallah, that people can start adopting?
Just increasing the recitation of the Quran, and even the tafsir as well. I think Imam Malik, he used to close his books of hadith and start reciting the Quran when the month of Ramadan came. So just reflecting more on the Quran and trying to increase your recitation, because there's many statements from the Salaf, like how much they used to finish the Quran in Ramadan, like a crazy amount. Like I think Uthman narrated that he used to finish it like 60 times or something like that.
Yeah, I heard Imam Shafi actually, subhanAllah.
And even today, like, there's a brother that I know in Medina that I was with him like last year, like on the 5th day of Ramadan or something, he was on Surah Al-Zumar. So that's like, he's read like, I don't know how much, like 23, 24 juz in like 5 days.
I think that's 5 juz a day.
SubhanAllah. Nice. So just whatever you do right now, just try and increase that in Ramadan. And reflecting on the Quran is also important. So to grab a tafsir, if you don't know Arabic, then English, Tafsir al-Sa'di, I think it's online, you can get the PDF. So just reflect upon the Quran and increase your recitation of the Quran.
But I think a lot of people nowadays, unfortunately, they don't give any importance to the Quran in the rest of the year. So they might read maybe like 1 juz every few months, like very little amount basically. But what I'd say to them is that just before Ramadan, even just opening the Mus'haf or looking into the Mus'haf is rewardable. So even if you read nothing at all, at least do that, and then slowly you will start and then read like 1 ayah or 1 page, half a page, just as little as you can basically. But then once you start reading, you not want to stop basically. You want to keep reading, and that's how you increase, and then by the time Ramadan comes, then it'll be much easier for you to read longer passages basically. So I think if you're someone who doesn't read that much, when Ramadan comes around, it's going to be very difficult for you to maintain, reading so much every single day if you've never read before at all. But if you start slowly and start building up slowly the amount of Quran you read, then it will become easier for you to maintain that over the course of Ramadan. Because a lot of people, what happens, they first 5-6 days they're on it, mashallah, they're keeping up to their targets and stuff like that, but then they stop, or they find it difficult to read as much as they were reading before. But if you have that practice from before, then it won't be that difficult basically. So if you're someone who doesn't read that much Quran, then just try and start even a tiny bit, even a little bit, even just looking into the Mus'haf. And that's how you progress basically.
Just linking mentality of going into Ramadan with what you just said right now, subhanAllah, there might be people right now that haven't read the Quran throughout the whole year, like the Mus'haf is dusty, but they enter Ramadan. Use that mentality of, okay, this could be my last Ramadan, let me make the most of it. It doesn't matter if you didn't read before, inshallah this Ramadan, just go in. And like you said, it might be hard at the start, but that's the beautiful thing about it, because if you change your perspective in a way in which you're struggling, and because you're struggling, you're feeling that sweetness of Iman, because, wow, subhanAllah, I'm struggling for the sake of Allah. So every time you don't want to read that extra page, where you just fight yourself, you tell yourself, no, I'm going to read it, Allah's watching me, He's going to be happy with me. That just pushes you to like end up finishing it somehow, even though you didn't plan to at the start, or you planned to, but then you just kind of lost motivation. So I think that mentality when it comes to reading the Quran it helps a lot. Just keep pushing and taste that sweetness.
And also, I think obviously you see a lot of people they're reading a lot of Quran and stuff like that. Maybe like their friends are reading a lot of Quran. I would say that don't compare yourself to other people. Have your own targets, have your own goals that you want to achieve, and don't look at other people and say, oh, he's reading so much, I should be reading this much. But if you try to read that much, it'll be difficult for you. So just do what is in your own capacity, not what anyone else's capacity is, because everyone is different. Everyone has their own capabilities. So I think just don't compare yourself to anyone. Focus on your own goals and focus on yourself, basically, in this Ramadan.
Yeah, I think that's important to mention. Like, going back to what you were saying, even if it's a little bit every single day, and you're just improving slightly by slightly, that's more beneficial to you than you comparing yourself to someone who's at a far greater level than you, for example. And it can also lead you to be disheartened by it, and fall behind after 5 days. Like you mentioned, after 5 days you feel like, why am I even doing this? I will never be able to catch up to this individual. But I think if you do little by little every single day and improve it by, let's say, even 1 page, that's more beneficial to you than competing with other people, for example. So I think that's also important to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good point about comparing between different people, because if you think about it, you're two different people. Like, your level might not be the same as theirs. I just think of it as two cars. Imagine a Toyota car. Its max is, I don't know, 120? I don't know. But then a Ferrari, which is max is like way over 120. If you were to say, oh, look, that Ferrari is going 200 miles per hour and I can only go 120.
Yeah.
But the Ferrari's max is probably like 260 or something like that. Allah alam. Don't call me in it. I'm not a car person. But say his max, he hasn't reached his max, probably, let's say 240. Okay, I might be wrong. Don't refute me, guys. But say he's going at 200, and then the Toyota car's like, well, I want to go on 200 as well, but his max is 120. If he goes on his max 120, he's maxed out, but the Ferrari is not maxed out. So you might compare the quantity, but compare it to his potential, it's not really that good. For example, if someone has strong hifdh, he can memorize 5 pages a day. And then someone, he memorizes half a page a day. If that person that memorizes half a page a day, he does it consistently every day, he's better than the one that can memorize 5 but memorizes 2. Do you get it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
The potentials.
You're right. And also I think there was a hadith where Aisha radiallahu anha, I can't recall it, I don't want to misquote it, but there's double the reward for someone who struggles to recite or learn the Quran than compared to the person who's fluent and efficient. I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's also worthy to remember that as well.
And if someone's able to read Quran but he doesn't read recite it properly, then he's obviously,
of course.
Yeah. But yeah, the point about competition, people compare the outcome, but you should compare the potential, because people are not the same, if that makes sense. Moving on. Inshallah. Okay, cool. Now in Ramadan, we've got things to do. Now we're fixed on what we can do. Yeah. What about like people around us? How do we treat people around us? Say, for example, our siblings or our colleagues and stuff like that. When it comes to Ramadan,
that's when you have to exercise the most patience, I think. Yeah. Because you're being patient on food and drink, like leaving off food and drink. You also have to be patient with the way people are and the way people behave with you. Not everyone's the same as you, basically. They're not going to behave the same way that you would behave, or they won't show the same manners or the same etiquette as you would. So you have to be patient with people. And this is, it's not just in Ramadan, of course, you have to do this all the time, but when it's Ramadan, then obviously the rewards are amplified and the sins are increased as well. So if you sin, it's worth more, basically. So if people are, annoying you or being rude to you, then obviously we have the thing, you have the dua, or not dua, the hadith that we say, inni sa'im, I'm fasting. This shows you have to restrain yourself. You're not just restraining yourself from food and drink, you're restraining yourself from all bad actions and all like bad etiquettes and stuff like that, and restraining your anger and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's how we should behave, basically. It's just restraint and patience.
It's a month to build up a person's patience, because you're fasting throughout the day, you're abstaining from food and drink, you're being patient upon that, and then you're being patient upon standing in the night as well in qiyam. So it can't be, it's not something that's easy. So a person, he needs to try and be as patient as he can, and it's a good way to build a person's patience upon the beingness of Allah for the rest of the months.
Definitely. Because a lot of people, even when they're fasting, like they might have family members who they get cranky when they haven't eaten, so they haven't eaten food and stuff like that. So you have to be patient with those kind of people in it, because most of the times it's not their fault. It's just because a lot of time when they haven't eaten, they get in the mood or they get cranky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you just have to be patient with them and realize that they're fasting as well. It's difficult for them as well. Maybe they're trying their best to not be cranky, but it's hard for them as well, innit? So you have to take into account people's, their situation and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, I'm saying. Just talking about that, about iftar, whatever, food, whatever. I remember there's a story of some person, yeah. It was Ramadan time. So his mum spent so much time in the kitchen making food and stuff like that. And then the food came, he ate the food. He didn't like the food. Like, he really didn't like it. But because he knows that his mum spent so much time in the kitchen cooking and stuff like that, when his mum asked him, how's the food? He was like, Alhamdulillah. He smiled, like, Alhamdulillah. Like, he didn't want to lie and say he's dead. He was Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and then Alhamdulillah, that just kind of goes back to like how you deal with people. Sometimes you might have to put yourself on a lower level than someone. Like, you might have to humiliate yourself a little bit to be on the good side of someone, or okay, not be on the good side of someone, but like to like seek their forgiveness, or not to make them upset with you, basically. Yeah. For example, if you upset someone, this is another advice as well before going into Ramadan. If you upset someone, you oppress someone in the past, try make it a goal for you to fix it before Ramadan. However, if you're watching this during Ramadan, do it now. Because in Ramadan, as we said before, the hearts are softer. People are more likely to forgive you if you oppress them or something like that. So, inshallah, if you can, try,
reconcile. Brothers and whatnot. Yeah.
Goes back to having good manners, treating people well. But, yeah, what else can we talk about this?
You mentioned iftar.
Iftar, okay.
Oh, the best time for most people.
Yeah, literally. Okay, cool. We'll segue to the next question. Our next question is iftar time, guys. What are some things that we need to know about iftar times, like adab or helping out, for example? Like, this is a very common question. Should the brothers help out in the kitchen? Should they help out with their mothers? What do you guys think?
Of course they should.
They should, but it's very common amongst families that it's always the women folk who prepare iftar and cook iftar, and the brothers, Allah Mubarak, they're eating their food, innit?
Yeah.
They don't really contribute by any means to help out during that. But obviously, like as I said, they should, and it's rewardable. I don't see why one would not help out. So yeah.
So what do you think, Mustafa?
Yeah, just do that. Maybe like get a plate or something like that. They're not telling you to go and cook the meal.
Yeah.
Like,
even if it's something little like that.
Just, like here and there, just do what you can, innit?
Yeah.
I think it's very sad if the brothers are not helping out their sisters or mothers in the kitchen. They spend hours in the kitchen helping out food for you, and then you just eat it and then you just leave the house, go to the
But what if you spend hours at work?
No, but they can help if they're able to help. Obviously, we're speaking about in general. For example, if you're able to help your mum, for example, in the kitchen, because look, again, go back to perspectives. This is Ramadan, yeah. In Ramadan, your whole focus should be getting closer to Allah. Okay, have that in mind. So now, if you look at your mum, your sister, everyone else that's cooking in the kitchen, generally speaking, it's always the women that are doing it. If you look at them, they're spending hours in the kitchen. When it's Ramadan, they should be like doing other stuff, but they're doing it for the sake of the whole family, to feed the family and stuff like that. So you should try help out in the kitchen.
Also,
and if you can't, at least this is Ustaz Saeed said this, by the way. If you can't at least help out with cooking and stuff like that, then at least at the end, when you finish your food, help out by cleaning and stuff. That's the least you can do. At least your own plate. But yeah, that's what Ustaz Saeed said. Hafidhullah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a lot of people treat like a lot of guys say, oh, why should I help out? I'm a man. That's not my role. It's fair enough, okay, but if you see your mother or your sister or your wife working so hard while they may be fasting as well
during Ramadan,
like if you love that person, why wouldn't you want to help them out? Wouldn't you see them struggling, like painfully getting all the food ready, putting it out and putting it back? Wouldn't you think that, oh, if I love this person, shouldn't I help them out at least? You know what I'm saying?
It's unfair.
So I don't think we should see it as roles and stuff like that. We should just see it as like from the kindness of our hearts that we should help out. We should help out.
In addition to that, perhaps it's more rewardable and it's more favorable to help out than to be doing particular acts of ibadah. And also, I know like a lot of times sisters or women folk, they may feel like, you know, they're missing out, you know, spending a lot of time cooking, but that's rewardable. You're cooking for your family in order to fill their hunger. And I can't recall the hadith, but there's a hadith on giving fasting people food when they're breaking up. Okay, exactly, yeah. So there's also that reward. So I'd advise not to feel disheartened when trying to help out in order to feed other people, especially during the time that they're fasting.
Yeah, you can also tie it into bir al-walidain as well if you want to help out your mother with the intention of being dutiful to her. So you can tie that as well. Inshallah, it's very rewardable. But
I think even then, I personally don't think people should eat like that much at iftar.
Sahih.
Like even in my house, like mom makes so much food. I'm thinking, mom, why are you doing this to yourself? We're not going to eat this much. You know what I'm saying? But may Allah bless her, obviously, the kindness of the heart, they just want to make.
Yeah, they come with the starters, the main dish, the dessert, everything.
Like obviously Pakistani, there's samosas, whatever. But I think even just for the women to have less work to do, and also because when you haven't eaten for so long and then you eat loads, you're gonna feel so bloated, and when it's time for taraweeh, you're gonna feel tired, man. And it's just not good practice. Like even like in Islam, like gluttony, like eating too much, eating excessively is not good. Even in Ramadan, if you're eating loads of food at iftar, that's not a good thing.
It's not good.
You know what I'm saying? So we should be, you know, modest in our iftar and in our suhoor. Just enough to, you know, not even fill us up properly. Obviously, you know the hadith, 1/3 food, 1/3 water, 1/3 air. So you shouldn't fill yourself up like crazy. You should keep it light, you know.
Also the foods that you eat, man, there's a lot of oily foods in our cultures, isn't it? You got what do you guys have? You have the what's it called? The pakoras, bro. Oh my god, they're so delicious, but sadly it's a bit unhealthy. What else do you man have, fam? I know you have those, what do you call it?
Samosas.
Yeah, samosas, of course.
Spring rolls.
Yeah, all of that. And do you guys have watermelon as well? That's like a culture. Every Ramadan, there's always watermelon.
But the season's not it right now.
The seeds
when it was in the summer, then the watermelon went down, man.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. But just to mention about what you said about eating too much, I think even Imam Shafi'i said, you know, he said after he started seeking knowledge, his belly has never ever become full. He has never filled his belly ever since he started seeking knowledge. A lot of the scholars, they always talk about this as well. Even the hadith about Umar, this story about Umar, when he came up to a man, had a very big stomach, and Sheikh Faisal Jassim was mentioning this, by the way, and then he was like, this is a blessing from Allah, and then Umar was like, no, this is a punishment. It just shows, like, as Muslims, we shouldn't be
he mentioned a statement after that
unhealthy.
That one was, I can't remember what it was though. Do you remember?
Which one?
In that video, but he mentioned a statement after, and I can't remember, but that was a peak statement, bro. I was like, Ram, when he said stop eating too much.
Oh yeah, he made a joke as well. He made a joke because like, it was like you can tell, because if someone's eating a lot, then it just makes them less productive and stuff like that, innit? And he made a joke because like, so if you're fat, we know how stronger your man is.
Long story.
There's a joke in it, alhamdulillah. But you shouldn't eat too much for real, like. Well, it affects your productivity and everything.
And it shows of like a lack of control as well. Like if you should control yourself even when it comes to food, because food is obviously, hunger is a desire at the end of the day. So you shouldn't eat so much. That just shows that you have a lack of control over yourself, lack of discipline, basically. But may Allah help us. It's difficult.
I mean,
yeah.
SubhanAllah, man. I can't wait for Ramadan. Wallah, I'm just thinking about what SubhanAllah.
What do you man eat for suhoor then?
Suhoor.
What's good to eat for suhoor? What's
healthy foods? Fruits. I'm telling you, fruits are so underrated, man. Someone might think, fruits, can't be asked. But fruit is very good, especially for Ramadan as well.
Yeah.
Fruits, yogurts.
Yogurt, bro.
Water as well.
I have so much yogurt. Because yogurt keeps you from being thirsty, innit? So that's good. And you shouldn't eat too much oily foods because that'll make you more thirsty.
Yeah.
So yeah. And again, keep it light as well.
Keep it light, guys. Remember, your stomach gets smaller when you're fasting. So if you eat a lot, it's just going to fill you up quicker.
Yeah. And you're still going to get hungry at the end of the day. People think, I'm going to eat so much that I'm not going to get hungry. You're still going to get hungry. After 7-8 hours, you're still going to feel it.
What about the brothers that are bulking? I know someone that's saying, I'm stuffing myself this Ramadan. I don't care. I need to get bulk. I need to start bulking. I'm like, Akhi, listen, you can eat throughout the whole night. Don't just munch.
Struggling taraweeh, bro.
Yeah, you can struggle taraweeh. But yeah, man. Anyways, we should talk about taraweeh next. Guys, okay, now we spoke about iftar. Taraweeh now. What are some adab, or what things do you advise the people watching to do when it comes to taraweeh? Should they go to taraweeh prayers or not, male or females? Mustafa.
Me.
Yes. I mean, anyone else if they want. So what's the ruling on taraweeh basically? Like, should someone go? No.
Yes, it's mustahab to attend taraweeh. But yeah, everyone should, try their best to attend taraweeh. And yeah, just strive hard.
It's nice to go to taraweeh, man. It's one of the signs of Ramadan, isn't it? Everyone's in Jama'ah and you're all praying together, reading the whole Quran. So yeah, I think it's a big blessing. People shouldn't let it go to waste. Basically, it's an opportunity as well. Like I said, it's an opportunity for you to get more rewards. Standing in the whole night, well, not the whole night, but like a large portion of the night, you're standing in prayer. It's such a big reward for that. So yeah,
and you get to hear the whole Quran as well, at least once if you attend every day in taraweeh. If you're masjid in khatma. So yeah.
Also, again, sorry, I was gonna say, even like I said about how you should deliberate yourself when you're reading Quran. Like you should read a bit by bit, and don't overwork yourself. Even if taraweeh, if it's difficult for you, then at least, like, if you can't go to all of them, if you have commitments, just try and go to as many as you can, basically, without obviously making it hard upon yourself. But even like, it's not obviously, like we said, it's not wajib, but obviously it's still a reward. But don't like make it hard for yourself, basically. Just take it, like, what you can do that. And if it's difficult, then
that's with everything. Yeah, whatever you can do, just do, guys.
Yeah,
inshallah.
And one thing, let's say if you got work and stuff, and you think like, if I attend taraweeh, then I might miss that fajr in the masjid. Like, what would you do?
Ustaz Saeed was asked this question. Someone asked him, what if someone does night shifts and they're going to miss taraweeh? And Ustad was like, working at night for a man is wajib to take care of your family, right? Provide for them, etc. So that's wajib for you to work and make money and provide for your family. But taraweeh is something that's sunnah. He said, inshallah, go to work, but have the intention that if you didn't have work, you'll be going to taraweeh. He said you'll get double reward. SubhanAllah, yeah. Because number one, reward for providing for your family, obviously working with the intention of providing for your family, that's one reward. Number two, you're intending to do an action, but you're just not able to do it. That's a reward. 2 in 1.
Yeah, and
so don't get disheartened. I know there's some people that like work like quite a lot. So
and also you can pray. Obviously, taraweeh is in the masjid in Jama'ah, but even if you pray qiyam al-layl or tahajjud by yourself at home, that's still big reward.
Just do what you can, guys. Remember the principle: fear Allah as much as you can. So what about I think we should talk about families as well, going together as a family, like your sisters, your mothers, etc. Like, do you think people should go with their families as well? Because I remember Ustaz Saeed mentioned this again, Hafidhullah. He said taraweeh, it only comes in Ramadan. Like, there's some ibad you can do as much as you can for the whole year, but there's some that's just specific to Ramadan, like taraweeh. What would you say to the people that are watching? Like, should they take the family to taraweeh if they can or not?
Definitely, if they can, yeah, they should. Because it's an experience for them as well. If they're like, for example, if you have younger siblings or something, or you have like your parents, your mother,
good memories,
your sister, it's good to bring them, because that is something that can increase your iman as well, not just yours and your families as well. So obviously, we have a responsibility upon ourselves to help our family, and aid them in their religion. So definitely, if you can take them, you should definitely take them. And if they're willing to go, a lot of times they will be wanting to go with you. They'll say, "Can you take me to taraweeh?" So you should definitely take them and help give them that experience and help them increase their iman as well.
Yeah, it's like you said just now. You said memories. It just builds memories, bro. Imagine like you're going taraweeh with your family, bro. You're going all together to worship Allah, and the vibe's different. You listen to Quran together, praying to Allah together. Like, subhanAllah, the vibe's just
every Ramadan is that vibe and experience, that energy that you feel, especially when you're going with your family, because you won't get the time back, isn't
Allah, bro. And then when Ramadan finishes, you're going to be like, subhanAllah, remember Ramadan, we went as a family to go to the masjid, pray.
Reminiscing and whatnot.
That's true, that's what you remember. You're like, I remember we went to Taraweeh this day, and this happened and stuff like that. So it's
and it's something that's praiseworthy as well. It's an act of worship. Sometimes you might go family here, there, come dining, for example, but Ramadan Taraweeh is something that Allah has given us Himself.
That's what everyone remembers, isn't it? Like, even I'm not gonna lie, like these past few months, I'm like, I just can't wait for Taraweeh, man. Wallahi, like everyone just thinks about Taraweeh when it comes to Ramadan. because it's the vibe, the feeling, the memories, everything. Just alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
I think even doing other things with your family is important as well, you know.
Of course,
Encouraging your family to do other things, like encouraging them to read the Quran, eating iftar with them, eating suhoor with them. I know a lot of people, they eat by themselves. They don't eat with their family. And I don't think that's good, man. If everyone's fasting, everyone's awake at that time, you should spend it together. And even in the day, you know, going to the masjid, like even for the other 5 prayers, going to the masjid with your father, your brother, your friend, even your friends, anyone. It's good to build that connection with other people during Ramadan with ibadah. Like, so the thing that is bringing you together is the worship of Allah.
No.
So that'll create an even stronger bond between you.
Sahih. And if you don't have family, at least like someone that you know, brothers, or go to the masjid, etc. Just don't eat iftar by yourself, because that's our point, inshallah. I think is whatever to mention about taraweeh, this whole thing, 8 rakahs or 20 rakahs, etc. It's fine, you can pray 8, okay, you can pray 20, okay, they're both fine. Whatever masjid you're going to, just make sure you finish all the prayers with the imam, because of the hadith about whoever prays with the imam until he finishes until he finishes the prayer. I know a lot of people, they pray in masajid that are like praying 20 and then they finish at 8 and then they leave and they go pray witr at home.
No, some people leave at 20 and then go pray witr.
SubhanAllah, some people leave at 20, they don't pray witr. You just missed, literally, you did all the hard work, but then just a few more minutes for witr, you could have, wallahi, you could have got, SubhanAllah, amazing reward, bro. Even Ustaz Saeed was talking about this as well. Bro, a lot of people miss out on that. Even some people, they pray, some masajid they pray 8, right? And then 3 witr. Some people say they pray 4 and then they leave. They're like, oh, I got to work, etc. SubhanAllah, but inshallah, try pray until witr finishes.
I mean, yeah, if they have work, they have work, but it's extremely advisable to stay until the end if you have the ability,
including witr.
Always in the obviously my masjid, they pray 20 in it, so always after 8, like
everyone goes, like half the masjid just leaves, everyone walking out.
I think that's bad etiquette as well, because like, the prayer is not finished. You know what I'm saying? That's like, imagine you're praying dhuhr and you just leave halfway after 2 rakah because you just don't want to pray. Like,
but if you're
there, it's not the same. But like, you're praying there. You're meant to be there until the end, until the imam finishes.
I'd say majority of people have no excuse. I think.
Yeah. A lot of people.
A lot of people just lazy.
I want to pray 8.
Because if you're praying 8, for example, if a masjid prays 8, they're gonna pray longer rak'at, right? But if you're praying 20, the rak'at are more shorter, but it's just more rak'at.
I remember one brother was saying he wanted to pray more at home, innit, tahajjud, so he didn't want to pray witr. So he prayed that all 20 and he went home because like, there's only one, because guys, if you don't know, you can only pray, there's only one witr every night. You can't pray 2 witrs. Okay, so this brother, he prayed 20, finished. He didn't pray witr though, because he was like, I want to pray more at home, tahajjud, whatever you want to call it, and then pray witr after that. So someone told him, listen, you shouldn't do that, because you should finish with the imam, get the reward, and then if you want to add more at home, you can go at home, more at home, but just don't do another witr.
You can add a rak'ah.
To the witr, you can add a rak'ah, make it 2.
So that, so in that circumstance, you've completed the prayer with the imam, and you've done that extra 1 rak'ah, so it's not odd, so it's even.
Even the extra rak'ah, it's like, I don't know, I think it's just I don't know, I feel like you just pray extra at home.
Let the fuqaha say
because Ustaz Saeed was talking about this.
Oh, was he actually?
Yeah, he was like, just finish the salah with the imam and everything, and then just do what you want to do.
It's advisable to
make
do witr at the end. Yeah,
it should be the last prayer.
Also,
I think there's difference of opinions with regards to that.
I think what's important with all these like issues, that these are like just fiqh issues, nothing to argue about. A lot of people argue, oh no, it's 8, no, it's 20, this and that. Fruitless arguments. There's no point in doing that, honestly.
Bro, I've seen people say this masjid Ahl Bidah because they're praying 20.
Yeah,
like the Sahabas, bro, the Sahabas.
That's just ignorance.
That's ignorance, bro. The Sahabas prayed 20, some prayed 8. The Prophet ﷺ prayed 8. It's okay.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Don't make it a problem. Like, don't even entertain arguments like that.
It's ignorance, literally, what you just said. Ignorance.
And I think it's important to remember that every action that you do should be solely for His sake, for the sake of Allah. Whether that's regards to, even bringing family to masjid, for example, praying taraweeh in jama'ah, for example, reciting Quran, everything should be solely for His sake, because let's say you have an argument, you have a dispute, it's very disheartening for that individual, especially if he's not in the wrong. Let's say someone attacks another person for praying a certain amount of rak'ah. You should always remember, like, you're doing it for the sake of Allah. So if that hurts you, you should remember that you know, you're doing this for the sake of Allah. You know that this is what you believe to be correct and what you believe to be sound. So you should, khalas, that should be it.
Yeah.
That should be it.
Alhamdulillah. I think we should just touch on a few things just before we end this. I want to get into like habits quickly, because a lot of people might be coming into Ramadan with bad habits and stuff like that, innit? So just quickly, inshallah. For example, a lot of people come in with still listen to music, or possibly like talking to girls and stuff like that, or watching haram online and stuff like that. How can one just get rid of all of that? What do you think they should replace it, or they should do less of it? What should they do, basically?
Yeah, they have to realize that we spoke about habits so much on the podcast, innit? But they have to realize that it doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. But Ramadan's probably the best time to make those changes. So for stuff like music, then what I advise is just delete all your music. Like if you have Spotify, cancel it. Just cancel it and get rid of it. Cut off all access to that sin, basically, and then replace it with something better. I know a lot of brothers,
actually do it. Yeah, actually do it. Literally right now, just delete everything. If you're that guy, just delete it.
Yeah, I know a lot of brothers, what they did, they delete all the music, they replace it with Quran, or they replaced it with podcasts. That's how you place it, because a lot of people, when they listen to so much music, they need something playing in their ears all the time. So if they don't have music playing, they're gonna get, it's like withdrawal symptoms. They're gonna listen to something.
I'm just listening to a little bit of this, and then slowly end up in that hole.
But you have to replace it with something better. Quran is the best, in my opinion. Just download like as many, like your favorite reciter, download all his surahs and just listen to it on repeat, and then you will find new reciters that you like, and then it will be pleasant to listen to, and it will increase your love of the Quran. And even like listening to the Quran is rewardable as well. It's a big reward as well. So I think that's the best way to replace it. Or
what about someone that's like stuff Allah, like free mixing and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's hard.
How do you advise them?
Again, it's with the intention in it. You have to first recognize the problem. Because a lot of people don't even realize they're doing something wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? They just think it's nothing. But you have to realize that it's a problem. And then, like I said, cut off all access. Block all those girls, man.
Cut off all access.
Just block them or remove them, everything like that. Just get rid of it. No, don't leave yourself any room. Because when you're in a moment, you remove everything, then that's it. You can't go back now. So even when you want, even if you want to go back later, you can't.
Start hesitating.
You know what I'm saying?
At the least.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, if you can't go back, there's no room for you to go back. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you have to do. Honestly, when it comes to breaking habits, you have to take difficult steps. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to do things that you might find difficult, that might be daunting, but that's the only way that you're going to change. You know what I'm saying? It won't come easy to you, basically. That's the only way it will change.
I agree with that, both like logistically and practically, but I think it's also important to make a conscious decision and consciously realize that you're doing this for the sake of Allah. The hadith, whosoever leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah will grant him that which is better. And just remembering all these things, because if you do it for the sake of Allah, and not just for the sake of trying to be a better person, obviously that is a very good intention, but you have to remember that the reason why you're trying to attempt to become a better person is in order to please Allah, for His sake. To be able to,
that should always be the end goal of everything.
Exactly. Yeah, but I don't think a lot of us consciously remember this when we are doing. When let's say we're trying to avoid off evil. Yeah. For example, we try to avoid certain places.
So you're gonna say?
I feel like, generally speaking,
it's the ego thing.
It's just I'm not trying. It's just for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not thinking the reason why I'm doing it for myself is due to the fact that Allah is watching me, and I want to do it for His sake. I want to gain a reward for His sake. I want to abstain from evil for His sake, in order to avoid sins, for example, avoid all these things. So I think anyone who consciously makes a decision to do something for the sake of Allah, Allah will not let down that person. No matter how hard or how attractive that sin may be. But yeah, obviously I agree, taking practical steps is always the best thing practically, but before that you have to make a conscious decision, like, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah, and now I will take these practical steps in order to alleviate me from this fitna, this trouble, for example. I think
it's important to mention as well, like, in this month, guys, whoever's watching, don't judge others if you see them doing something that you wouldn't do. What do I mean by business? Because this month is a month of improvement. Literally, it's like a training ground for the rest of your life. So if you see someone struggling, what happens at training, bro? For example, if you're training in MMA or something like that, bro, you get beaten up, bro.
Yeah.
You fail, you hurt yourself. This is that. You won't always be on point. So you're gonna see people like this. So don't judge people, especially when people in the masjid, you see them with like their hair is different, or they're wearing a chain, or they're not you. Okay, no one's perfect. Okay, don't judge them. Don't look at them differently, because this is very common, bro. In some masajid, bro, because every Ramadan people say, oh, look at this Ramadan Muslim, look at him, he's just only practicing this month. After Ramadan he's going to do this. Wallahi, that guy can be way better than you if Allah accepts one of his dua. And all of your sins, all of your good deeds could be just gone. Because why? Because of your intention. Wallahi, you never know, bro. Even the sisters as well, it's very common. I don't know if you guys hear about it. In the masjid, a girl comes in with so much makeup, smelling of perfume, this is that, wearing this, wearing that, and the sister's like, who's this? Like, they'll start looking at them differently, acting like you're the pious flex. I don't like it. It's not good. It's not from the deen. Wallah, it's not from the deen. Especially in Ramadan, when people are trying to change you, you shouldn't do that.
Also, there's like, if you're targeting small things like that, then like you have to look at like the bigger picture. They have to change completely within themselves. If you're talking about, oh, he's wearing a chain, and you start having a go at him,
that's very minute compared to.
It's not gonna. That's a small. That's a subsidiary issue. The main issue is him changing his heart.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's what needs to be tackled. If he's coming to taraweeh, he's coming to pray, then that's the big change, and then everything else will follow that.
Sahih.
Stop wearing chains. Will stop. He'll realize that this is haram, because when your heart aligns with the deen, when your heart aligns with the will of Allah and like and his sharia and his law, then everything else will come after that.
Sahih.
But first you have to rectify the heart, and that's if he's trying to do that, then who are you? And you don't know what the situation of his heart is. We don't even know our own situation most. So how can we look at others and say that? That's
like giving da'wah Mustafa, innit? What should we start with? Tawheed, and then after that the small things. First you establish Allah is watching you, you have to worship Allah, and then all the other stuff. That's what happens in the story of the Prophet ﷺ. First at-Tawheed, the Makki surahs. If you look at all the Makki surahs, all of them, a lot of Tawheed, strong Arabic, strong ayat, Yawm al-Qiyamah, this is that, and then the ahkam came after.
There were no laws until after how many years?
In Medina. Some obviously, some but the point is, guys, first establish Tawheed when you're giving advice to someone, remind them of Allah, and then talk about, oh, your ankles, your trousers below your ankles, oh, you're wearing a gold ring, gold chain, whatever, because they won't understand it if you just talk. Because wallah, I know the one brother here, subhanAllah, may Allah bless him, he used to wear a chain all the time, right? But then no one told him about it because he just started practicing it. And then wallahi, slowly, after he started seeking knowledge of us and everything, he just took off the chain himself. No one told him. Just himself, naturally. He just, because that's when he built up his tawheed, he built up his seeking of knowledge. He knew that Allah's watching him, etc. Then himself, he would just leave it anyways.
If you nitpick on people for like straight away for stuff like that, push them away. Exactly.
Push them away. And also, it's worthy to mention that a lot of things have difference of opinions as well.
Exactly.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that because growing up, a lot of people used to attack other people for certain things, and you got up to realize that actually that was valid what he was doing.
And sometimes they mock you. You know that. Some people, they mock you, and you know about the statement: if someone mocks someone for a sin that they do, they won't pass away until they do that sin. Bro, deep that. If you curse someone for saying, oh, he's doing this, you're going to end up doing it because you're mocking him. SubhanAllah,
backbiting as well.
Backbiting as well. Yeah, bro, there's so many
sins multiplying on top of it. Just because you're talking about someone.
The hadith on the bankrupt person. He who comes with all his fasting, all his salah, but he slandered so-and-so. He, talked bad about so-and-so. And all his deeds have gone to dust, basically. They've amassed to nothing. So, perhaps the other person that you are slandering, or the person that you are, targeting, perhaps they're better than you. You'll never know this.
They could be way better than you.
Exactly. You'll never know this. You'll never know this.
That's why when you walk around, you see Muslims around you, never think you're better than anyone. If you ever think you're better than someone, even if they openly look like they're doing something crazy, then there's something wrong with your heart. If you think, I'm better than this person, look at me, I'm coming to lesson, I'm wearing a khamis, I'm going to pray 5 times a day, I'm better than this guy, there's something wrong with your heart.
I think that
because no one thinks like that.
Sufyan al-Thawri, where like he was asked what's taqwa, and then he was like, you don't see yourself better than anyone, basically. So yeah.
I think I should just put
that should keep you lower and it should humble you.
Yeah. But just a quick disclaimer, guys. If we're not saying like
excusing people.
We're not excusing people for their sins. Obviously, if someone's doing something wrong, we judge by what's apparent. But saying I'm better than this person because he's doing that and I'm doing this, that's the issue. But judging by apparent, if someone's doing something haram, obviously we try to warn them and stop them and stuff like that. However, we don't judge them as in the sense where we look down upon them or we mock them or anything like that.
As an individual,
confused about what I was trying to say.
As an individual rather than the sin itself.
Sahih. Inshallah, we're going to wrap it up now. Guys, any final advice that you give to someone on entering Ramadan? Maybe that could be maximizing reward, whatever. Sincerity.
Don't burn yourself out. Just start off slow. And then just do as much as you can, and then last 10 days, nights, that's when you go out, all out, inshallah.
Inshallah. That's good advice.
Yeah, pace yourself. Good advice. And don't undermine little sins, don't undermine your etiquette, don't undermine everything else. Everything else is still there. Just because you're not eating and you're not drinking doesn't mean everything else you forget about. Do you know what I'm saying? Try and become a better Muslim in all aspects and treat people well.
I would say, as usual, be sincere. Ibn al-Jawzi, he said, how few are the people that dedicate their deeds sincerely to Allah. Glory be to Him. I think it's an important point to remember. I know I keep going on about it, and you guys are probably fed up with me saying, be sincere, but wallahi, everything comes down to sincerity. You know, we can be the most apparently best people, you know, from what's apparent, but maybe deep down inside we suffer from diseases of the hearts, you know, and arrogance, kibr, ujub, you know, anything, a lot of things, you know, can be going through someone's heart and mind. So we have to like remember that. Look, it's all good and well generalizing sincerity and saying, yeah, I plan to be sincere for all the actions I do, but I think it's very important, you know, our deeds are few. There was also another statement, how few deeds we do, so make sure that every deed we do is sincere. One of the people of the past mentioned this, but you know, what we take from this is our deeds are few, so why not make sure and ensure that every deed that we do was done sincerely before we committed that deed. So, you know, when you're opening the kitab, you know, to recite the book of Allah, sometimes we don't think, why am I doing this? Sometimes we don't think, oh, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. Sometimes we just think, you know what, I just need to do my hifz, you know, for shaykh, or I need to do this for X, Y, Z reasons. But all of this, everything in this dunya amounts to that which is between us and our Lord, you know. So I think that's also very important to mention. I'll keep reiterating it as long as I'm here.
It's so important.
But yeah,
so important. Wow, man. Jazakallah khair, guys. That advice is good. I just want to say one more thing, guys. It's Ramadan. Okay, wallahi, there's so many people that did not get to witness this Ramadan. Obviously, we're still not in Ramadan, but inshallah, Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. But there's so many people that passed away. They weren't able to witness this Ramadan or even come close to it. Imagine this is your last Ramadan, guys. Wallahi, don't think that you're going to have another Ramadan. You're not certain about that. You're not guaranteed. But what is guaranteed is that you will pass away one day. And whether that be next Ramadan or before next Ramadan, make most of this Ramadan. Make the most of it, inshallah. But yeah, Jazakumullah khairan. Ikhwa, we're going to end it there, inshallah. May Allah allow us to see Ramadan and make this of a beneficial gathering. And may Allah allow us to act upon everything that's been said and grant us sincerity. Jazakumullah khairan. Again, Jazakallah khair, guys, for the inputs and everything. Inshallah, we'll see you guys in another episode. We don't know when.
After Ramadan.
But after Ramadan, probably after Ramadan. But we'll see you guys in another episode. Inshallah, share this with people that, you know, that could be, you know, beneficial for them. But yeah, inshallah, we'll leave it as there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.